The first time I heard about him was still when I was attending the Central Conservatory in Beijing. And I remember that was 2013 and or 14. My teacher, he discovered that I was not only a classical pianist but also a jazz improviser and a jazz pianist. And he introduced me a name, Nikolai Kapustin. He said, "I know you are, into jazz, so check him out, and you will. I think you will like it." I think the first impression about hearing his music is, I would say maybe powerful. His music is very powerful. Especially when you hear himself playing his piece, because he's got very nice hands and nice technique to it. I think somehow you can easily define jazz and classical. From the easiest thing is jazz is all improvised and classical is all written, most of them, I mean. And when the real jazz people say jazz, it must be improvised. It's not something you write down your solo, you write down this thing you're gonna play. Even you play the jazzy, I mean, in swing time, in Latin, or in the old bebop style, it's all about making your own sound. When I discovered his music, I found that he used a lot of jazz harmonic and jazz rhythm, but with a certain classical composition way, with very, I'll say, very classic piano technique, not like not like jazz. I mean, they just improvise everything, but Kapustin has a certain classical sense in his music. The first piece I learned from Kapustin was his prelude from his 8 concert etudes. I remember I chose to study his piece called Variations. Opus number is Opus 41. Kind of, around 1976 maybe, sometime around that. And I learned that piece, and in September 2014 I got a chance to play that at the Juilliard School. So it's just a little program, November 8th, 2014, and this was my little tiny recital at the Juilliard under a class. I think I played well, I played okay. My mom recorded on my just a little recorder, and afterward I was thinking, if I can send this to Kapustin, or even to someone who knows him. And that time I began to discover himself, not only his music. I almost opened every single page on Google, every single page about him, because there are not many. I found some of his website that made by his fans, and some music videos from him playing or others playing his music, and also some kind of unofficial website of him. And finally I found one. It's called Nikolai Kapustin .info, and I thought this kind of an official thing, and I found that there's a contact. So I wrote an email, and I attached my recording and I said, who I am and how much I love his music, and hopefully someone can pass this to him. But I was not expecting any replies, even the mail was delivered or not. But the second day, when I got up, I received a reply from the website Maestro. His name is Wim, and I was super surprised by his email. The first word he says, my playing of the variations was quite interesting, and he thought it is necessary to let Kapustin hear it. And here comes the main story. He said the master Kapustin really liked my playing, and he would like to make contact with me. It's one of the happiest moment of my life. Yeah. Especially in 2014, that might be the most memorable second when I read his email. After I got in touch with Kapustin and his website Master, we were in touch constantly, and I also got many chances to communicate with Kapustin on his music. I met a very important friend from Russia. His name is Igor Butman, famous jazz saxophone player. He actually invited me to go to the Tchaikovsky concert to perform last year in Moscow. And afterward, I talked about Kapustin with him. I said, he's my hero of all time, and he's the one who inspired me of continue discovering on classical. Because say something out of the topic, I think somehow I more like jazz, because jazz you can do your own style, you can talk about your own words. But in classical, I can also show people how I how I think about Beethoven, Mozart, and Kapustin. But it's it's still playing others' music. It's not something I really want to say. But Kapustin's music just inspired me, of the idea of the classical music is still alive. I think I'm looking for myself, my own music. But firstly, I have to really study jazz and classical. You cannot just make your own music by passing the steps. You have to take. For example, I'm attending the Juilliard School Pre-College in New York, and mainly I study classical piano there with my teacher. But I also take a private lesson with my jazz piano teacher. We have weekly lesson, and we play a little bit door piano. Well, the concert is on November 21st. And it's going to be at the Moscow House of Music. It's a quite big hall in Moscow. And the musicians who are going to be joining me are, Igor Butman, the famous Russian jazz saxophone player, and also his Moscow Jazz Orchestra. And there will be also another chamber orchestra joining us, but it's going to be announced in soon. The concert is about 1 hour and 30 minutes, but with maybe a 15 minutes break, like an intermezzo between two sets, because the first set I'm playing maybe 1 or 2 solo pieces, and we have Igor Butman and the Moscow Jazz Orchestra joining us. It's a jazz big band, but with some strings as well. And the second half is me playing another 2 or 3 solo compositions, and another piano concerto that he wrote, and that will be a chamber orchestra joining us. A chamber orchestra with strings, violins, violas, cellos, double basses, and also he's got oboe, flute, and clarinet. I hope Kapustin himself can see this video, and I really wish he can come to the concert. But that would be, well, kind of nervous, but I mean, I think the audience will be more nervous than me, you know. Like Kapustin sat, you know, next to them and listening to his own compositions.
Everyone has different tastes, and we all have the right to like or dislike something. However, today, I am sharing, and hopefully you will also share this opportunity to appreciate our master of this century, Nikolai Kapustin. Please like and share the video. See you in Moscow.